The Roman Empire wasn't built on courage alone. It was built on debt. Today, we imagine the Roman legions as honorable, disciplined warriors. But behind those shining helmets and magnificent armor was a vast logistics system, and its only fuel was money. Tens of thousands of soldiers needed food, weapons, roads, and pay. Horses needed feed. Siege engines needed timber. Everything required money. So how did Rome finance centuries of war? And why does that story still matter today? Because when you look closely at Rome's war machine, you realize that war wasn't just fought on the battlefield. It was fought within the economy itself. War was engraved into Rome's financial system, and once the mechanism started, it couldn't stop. Expansion wasn't a choice. It was an economic necessity. Sound familiar? In Rome's early days, the army was made up of ordinary citizens. If you owned land, you were called to fight, bringing your own weapons, and once the war ended, you returned to your fields. But as Rome expanded, wars grew longer and farther from home. Farmers could no longer fight and farm at the same time. Professional soldiers took their place, and the state began to pay their wages. From that moment, war was no longer just about defense. It became a business model. Every new conquest brought new taxes, new mines, new loot. War became a self-financing loop. But Rome didn't rely only on taxes. During long and expensive wars, like the Punic Wars against Carthage, the state took massive loans from the wealthy elite. These weren't patriotic donations, they were investments. In return, lenders received interest, privileges, and tax collection rights. War had become an investment opportunity. The higher the profit, the more wars Rome waged. Over time, this war economy reshaped everything. Senators became investors chasing plunder, and generals turned into corporate executives. From logistics to taxation, everything was controlled by private contractors. Rome's economy had become full-fledged military capitalism. But this system came at a cost. To pay soldiers, debts, and elites, the state constantly sought new income. When the resources ran out, it turned to the easiest trick in the book, devaluing money. Starting with Emperor Nero, the silver content of the denarius was reduced. What was once pure silver became, over the centuries, a worthless bronze disc. Inflation exploded, trade collapsed, and trust disappeared. Rome's financial system went into freefall. The rich preserved their wealth in land and slaves, while the poor were forced to pay taxes with worthless coins. Corruption soared, public services decayed, and the cost of endless wars fell squarely on the shoulders of ordinary people. This was no longer just a military collapse, it was an economic one. Look around today. Governments fight wars on massive debts. Central banks quietly print money, and the defense industry grows richer with every crisis. Just like in Rome, the system has become a self-feeding beast. Debt is now the engine of growth, but no system can expand forever. Remember Rome's lesson. When new lands run out and new revenues dry up, the state turns against its own people. Taxes rise. Money loses value. Freedoms shrink. Bread and circuses keep the crowd entertained while the elite fortify their villas. Today we call it economic policy, but the mechanism is the same. The state borrows, the rich profit, and the people pay the price. Debt is no longer a tool. It's an addiction. And just like in Rome, the system eventually consumes itself. That's why financial history isn't just about the past. It's a glimpse into the future. Because every empire makes the same mistake. It believes it can manipulate money without consequence. But history always delivers the same verdict. Whoever corrupts money prepares their own end. If this story made you see the world differently, don't forget to subscribe. Because history still asks the same question. Who profits and who pays?